You will need your fabric to be a minimum of 60 inches wide or 150 centimetres for this garment. I have made it here in a wool Angora blend, but you could make it in any soft fabric. A lightweight fabric would be perfect for the warmer months, and of course it doesn't need to be plain. A stripe would look great. Once you have cut the pattern pieces out, you will need to notch the seam allowances as I'm showing here. Make sure you mark the pocket positions using scissors with a sharp point, so that when you lift the patterns from the fabric, you will have guides to help you sew. Once you have completed all the notches, take the pins out of each piece. Take the front and the pocket pieces. Keeping the two front pieces together, lay the first pocket so that the notches line up and pin into place. The front cut fabric should be right side up and the pocket should be right side onto the garment. Flip both front pieces over to pin the second pocket piece in place. Take these pieces to your sewing machine and stitch the pockets into position. Stitch on the seam allowance line. Be sure to stitch both pockets. Trim your threads as you go for a neat finish. Take the front pattern piece and stitch 1.5 centimetres or 5/8 of an inch along the seam allowance into the corner. Leave the needle in the fabric, lift the foot of the machine and turn the fabric around the needle. Stitch a further 1.5 centimetres or 5/8 of an inch along that seam allowance. Using sharp scissors, cut into the corner without going through the stitched line. Repeat this on the other front piece. Take both front cut pieces and lay them flat with the collar sides together. Make sure that you have the wrong sides coming together. Pin along the centre back neck along the seam allowance line. Take these pieces to your machine and stitch them together. Once stitched, trim away one side of the seam allowance. It doesn't matter which one. Fold over the remaining seam allowance and tuck underneath. Pin the first part to get started and then continue to fold around as you stitch. This is known as a flat seam and will hide all your raw edges, perfect for a single layered collar. Next we need to join the shoulder and the neck seams, and this involves opening out the corner where you did the reinforcing. Lay the right sides together of the back piece down onto the right side of the front piece. Pin along the collar edge starting at the flat seam so you know that the piece is on the centre back. You will see the reinforced corner will open out. Pin the shoulder seams together, taking care to make sure that you go right into the square corners. This creates the shawl collar style. Stitch making sure you leave the needle in, lifting the foot at the square corner. Check that you have your square corner and it is right into the neck edge. Stitch right next to the stitching line that you have already created. Neaten this seam by zigzagging, or if you have an overlocker you may choose to use this. Now you need to neaten your pocket seams. This time, instead of stitching both seams together, neaten each seam separately. Be sure to do this for both pockets. Next, you need to put the side seams together. Lay one on top of the other with right sides together. Make sure you match the side seams and the pocket bag perfectly. Pin the side seams together and all around the pocket bags. Take to your machine, starting at the armhole edge, stitch all the way down the side seam, including around the pocket bag. Be sure to turn the fabric when you reach the pocket bag, and once the pocket bag is finished, continue down to the hem. Neaten this edge by zigzagging the seam allowance together, or you may overlock again. Repeat this process on both sides. We are now at the last step, which you should use for hemming and the armholes. To create the hem, lay the garment flat on the table with the inside of the garment face up. Fold the bottom edge around 1 centimetre or 1 inch and then fold the edge on itself again and repin. This will get you started. Depending how difficult your fabric is to handle, you may be able to do this without pinning any further. If not, spend the time and pin. Use this technique all the way around the hem and all the way around the armholes. Take the garment to your machine and stitch the hem and the armholes. If you are using a finer fabric, you could neaten with a very close zigzag, or if you have an overlocker, you could do a baby locked edge. Do a final press and you've completed the draped coat.